As Sir Winston once said, we shall fight. With only 10 views, humanity is on the brink of extinction. We have been pushed out of our habitats, abused, slapped around like a flaming baby. But now, we return to fight. This is the pit.
You've fallen into it. That was a good intro. I'm BigBS here with PKD on the intro and at Bold Gambit.
Yo!
Once again, 3-man pit crew. It's got the cigarette or the cigar.
Oh, this is Hennessy, right?
Popping the cork.
Dude, what is up with the Hennessy commercial where it's like, something dude was breaking the speed record. What was he chasing?
Right.
What are you chasing? Oh, the liquor store?
Right.
No, not really. I don't drink Hennessy.
Damaged liver?
Yeah, damn. I don't know.
God damaged liver.
God damaged liver!
Alright, so here we are, episode 10, August 6th,
Your body is
2014.
a wonderland.
So let's go through the headlines real quick. Give you a taste of what I'm bringing up. We got GameStop in the news a couple times. The white Xbox One.
Why did it have to be white?
Yeah,
Resident Evil.
What?
We got Resident Evil in the news. Let's see what else. Duke Nukem, Sleeping Dogs, some Twitch news, XCOM, and some Sony news. Then I'm looking at crash drones and smartphones. Couple things in the news there. What else you got? Any headlines on your end?
I've got some patriotic eagles crapping on Putin. Some disturbing news out of from his top advisor. A tank biathlon. North Korea's new submarine.
Ooh, Hobby
submarine.
Lobby.
I didn't realize that. Aren't they in
heavy air quotes there on new.
If you work at Hobby Lobby and you see anybody that looks like they might be from North Korea, then go after them.
Yeah. Spy planes entering airspaces and
Ruh-roh.
experimental drugs kicking Ebola's ass.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's talk.
Well, let's
Turkey.
see. We got the previous episode recap. 11 views. There's only 6 days, so I mean, people got some catching up to do. I know it's summertime, but fuck.
I'm in the living.
Watch people. It's not like you have anything better to do.
Right. And we got some random stuff to talk about afterwards, after all the headlines. So let's just go into it. Let's see. Some game news. GameStop. GameStop in Philadelphia is fingerprinting people on trade-ins now.
Oh.
Because as an anti-theft protocol, I guess now, because they're having a lot of people treating GameStops like pawn shops and just stealing games and going and trading them in.
Isn't that what they are?
Well, that's fine, GameStop.
I guess Philadelphia GameStops have had enough.
Had enough.
I don't know. They've got digital fingerprint scanner.
No fucking way.
Yep.
Don't go to GameStop, Philly.
Yeah, go to Walmart or whatever, I guess.
Well, it's their right
don't go to
as a
Walmart.
business.
Don't go Walmart, yeah.
Go to Best Buy.
It's their right as a business to do this, but it's also my right as a consumer to do what everybody else does and just buy their games off of the internet.
Right.
Like, I mean, that's what people are doing now.
It's digital. GameStop also is trying to... They're redoing all their trade-in stuff and going to be offering more money now is what they're saying.
Oh.
More money.
Yeah, you
for
pieces
you
of crap.
peons out there.
Right. Here, we'll give you some more money, but don't treat it like a pawn shop, please.
Yeah.
While we give you more money. All right.
That's
So,
what
I don't know, it's a couple of contradictory things. Like,
that's what GameStop's for. Is
it's like if you want to deter people from just stealing games and selling them, I guess give out less money.
Right. We don't do that.
It's a little less invasive than taking my fingerprint,
Yeah.
at the GameStop. Nah, no thanks.
GameStop now wants to implant chips in everybody's shoulders.
We hate you, GameStop.
Yeah.
At least I do.
You know, I hear. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people do hate GameStop, but it's still like the #1 spot, like to buy video games. Like, or you know, they have the most video game sales out of any retailer that sells video games. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's probably mostly because that's all they sell, and so it's a lot easier to just go in and get a game rather than going to Walmart and walking all the way to the back to get a game. You know what I mean? If that's all you're going in for.
Gamers are notoriously opposed to walking great distances.
Right.
Going into Walmart, fuck that.
Right. I mean, it's like the convenience store of video games, essentially. You know what I mean?
Huh.
Like, you wouldn't want to go into Walmart to get your cigarettes if that's all you're getting. You know what I mean? GameStop, butt banging the consumer.
Yep.
Of course, always.
Yep.
All right. So, white Xbox One bundles coming out this month, bundled up with Madden, the new Madden game.
Oh.
Yeah, boo-hoo. Boo-hoo for the Madden games.
See.
But I mean, they'll sell their copies of Madden, but but it's $3.99 without the Kinect with the game, so you get a free game pretty much. But they're also going to do one in October for the Sunset Overdrive. I don't know. It's some new Xbox exclusive that's a bit like Crackdown, and I don't know.
Crackdown was fun.
Yeah, it's a bit like Crackdown, but it's a lot faster paced, and it's online multiplayer. And there's like waves of enemies and all sorts of over the top weapons, and I don't know. Looks like a lot of fun, but yeah, white Xbox Ones.
Ooh,
That's racist.
They gave them out to employees only.
That's hella racist.
During the Xbox One production or whatever, when they were, if you were part of the production team or whatever, the launch team, you got a white Xbox One. Which now it's not as special because now they're going to start selling them, so it's like, cool, thanks.
Here's what I think about white-colored consoles, though, is it's just basically going to turn, like, yellowish over time.
Right.
Like, it's
Especially
at some
a lot
point
of
it's
gamers
just going to
that,
look like shit.
Sit there and smoke all day and play,
get rid of smoke. I mean, it's going to get dirty, marked up,
but
some
if you
kid's
can
going to
keep
draw
it clean,
on it.
it'll look nice.
Laminate that motherfucker.
Don't take off that plastic
Laminate
wrap when you get it.
Fucking do what Grandma does to the sofa. I've never used the term sofa.
So fucking
You
ever been to
good.
the Sofa King?
Yeah,
They got some good sofa deals there.
Yeah, and then
So fucking good.
my grandma doesn't wrap her couch.
Todd and Ed went down there
And saran wrap.
To the Sofa King?
to the Sofa King.
Hey, you guys want to ride with me?
Meet Todd Ed.
Sofa King.
We tall did.
Yeah, let's go. Eat some or have some sofa time.
We tall did.
Whoop whoop.
All right. So I know this will get something from one of you guys. Resident Evil HD remake is coming out. First one, Resident Evil 1.
First Resident Evil.
It's coming out for the Xbox One and
best
PS4.
Resident Evil there was.
HD remake.
I think Resident Evil 2 is the best.
Well,
Well, here's
Resident
the
Evil
thing.
2 was close, but I don't know, 1
Obviously,
was pretty awesome.
if this does well, which it probably will, they'll do the second one more than
Yeah.
likely, and the third one, or a combination of all three of them in one. You know what I mean?
And is it coming? Did you say it's coming to Xbox or?
Yeah.
Nice.
The next gens, yeah, it's coming to it.
That's what I want to hear, because that's the good zombie game, because you're solving puzzles.
Yeah, I just heard about it, and I was just thinking like a couple weeks ago how I'd like to go back and play that Resident Evil 1.
Yeah.
I had
but don't have any way to
blast
do
with
it.
Resident Evil 1. Resident Evil 1 was
For sure.
And 2 was awesome.
Exploring that, because you were actually, it was called Resident Evil, and you spent a lot of that time in that mansion or
in
whatever.
a residence.
Right, and so it kind of, added that, but like after a while it started to break out of that, obviously, because they had to keep it going, but
after a while, Crocodile.
It's not like suburb evil, or small African village evil, or
after
place
supper,
in Spain
motherfucker. I just heard that this week.
Oh.
And that was the first time I'd ever heard that.
That's threatening. I'm going to beat your ass after supper.
Let me break some shit down
It
really
was
quick.
so fucking funny, dude. It was
about
like
Resident Evil. You guys want to hear my opinion on Resident fucking Evil?
1.
You know what?
Resident,
let me just
or the whole series, or what?
No, just in general.
As a franchise?
So, Resident
It's
fucking
literally
Evil.
last two
You know
things
what
he
Resident
said?
Evil started fucking up? They got off of zombies. They went to fucking African
So
people
was it
with
zombies
AKs.
in Resident Evil
No.
1? There wasn't
Yeah.
a virus? Or...
It was a virus, yeah, and there were zombies. And there was a giant snake and sharks and giant tarantulas. Those are cool. When you start having fucking African dudes with machetes and AKs and fucking crazy Europeans, and then
It's a virus, though. It evolved.
no, they turn it into a
Well,
parasite.
no. See, it's all things that the Japanese fear. See, they
Right.
start
And then-
out with zombies and giant spiders, and then they escalate to
Well,
Africans
it's always
and Europeans.
The
No,
airborne
because-
illness, too.
No, but here,
Illnesses, like viruses. They
And
always
then-
got the masks on.
and then the newest Resident Evil is the dumbest one of all.
The game or the movie?
Well,
6?
all the movies suck. Yeah, no,
Or...
it was the one
It was
with the
6.
water.
Oh,
was in the water.
Revelations?
I don't fucking know, man. But they had these giant like,
They were on like a ship or something at
Yeah.
the beginning, and then...
and they had these giant like
Yeah, that's
frog
Revelations.
things that were instead of zombies. Dumb, dumb. That's dumber than the Mormon religion. And that's saying a lot with me. So that's all I have to say. Get back to the zombies, Resident Evil, and you'll be back in the.
Well, that's why
graces
they're
of
doing
God.
redoing the first one. They're going back to the the remaking now. You know what I
Man,
mean?
better.
I'm all for remaking games with better graphics, as long as
Yeah,
they keep
because
it
it
pretty
keeps
original.
it alive and it keeps
Yeah.
it, gives it a fresh take on it and introduces it to new generations of people, so that you don't sound old talking about games like that.
Yeah.
Down the line, you know what I mean? Like,
Hey,
oh
man.
man, this game Resident Evil, man, back in the day,
Yeah.
people were like, oh man, this game is tight, like, and
Yeah, I played that. You'll be able to have people actually say that. So some fucking hipster coming up to you like, yeah, I just bought a PlayStation 1. Yeah, I played that. And you're like, fuck you, man.
fuck human.
Fuck humans.
Yeah, so Resident Evil, that's tight.
Russia.
We got Tetris with guns.
Tetris with guns?
There's a game. It's not called Tetris with guns. It's called I can't remember now. Gun something. Gun blocks.
Gun blocks?
Yes, but it's essentially Tetris with guns. The
How
only thing that made
Fuck do
Tetris.
guns bring anything to Tetris?
I don't know, but it's
They
a
don't.
free to play like alpha right now or something on this website. You can play like one level of it. But I don't know. It caught my attention. It seemed like a ridiculous thing. Just you take any game and then say with guns, and then it's automatically like catches people's attention. You know what I mean? Like
Pac-Man with
why-
guns.
Like everybody's like nowadays, like man, you know, all this game needs is guns, and it'd be fucking awesome. Like on Half Baked, like when they're like, you ever seen $20 bill on weed? Like the same thing. Like, you ever played Minecraft with guns?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, it would make the Madden franchise more interesting.
I always said, fuck that Pokemon Game Boy with guns.
Your rival has appeared. Your rival has been shot 37 times.
No, like, fuck the whole Pokemon aspect of it. Just have, like, Kanto is invaded by the fucking Japanese army, and you have to... It could be, like, little Tetris, like, go back and forth and up, whatever the fuck cares. That'd be pretty sick, man.
Alright, well, that's good. It's good to hear Tetris has guns now. The only thing it's been missing.
The guns! They're not Tetris now.
Right.
You Yanks like
Violent video games, man.
Well,
you Yanks
Now we're
like
doomed.
your
You
guns
can't
like
even play
we
Tetris
Aussies
now
like our
without
cars.
shooting somebody.
without shooting
Without
somebody.
becoming a psychotic.
The Sims
Alright.
needs guns.
I'm proud to be
Yeah,
an
you
American.
imagine all the high school shootings that would go down in that game if you had guns.
I'm free.
Yeah, I recreated my entire
Your
school.
teenager, you don't pay enough attention to your teenager. He breaks into your gun locker and shoots his
Shoots
school
up.
up.
I remember John and I
Yikes.
would build a little room outside of the house and put the people in, take outdoors and light off fireworks inside of the room. And they're like, they burn to death. And the little smoke detector be going off like, and the Sims would be like, stuck in their room, you know, like running around. And then they just like lay down like they're taking a nap, and then
this smoke inhalation or
fucking dead.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I've killed my share of Sims.
Yeah, I mean, you go through a lot of Sims before you finally can keep one alive. I mean, it takes a while to fucking balance everything out and be like, damn. Oh, I didn't even know you could burn down the house, you idiot. Like, goddamn, like, you're 35 years old or whatever, you know? Like, you can't cook
Why did you make him sleep on the wicker couch next to the fireplace?
Can't cook some mac and cheese or anything? Like, what the Yeah, babysit this fucking grown-ass man in The Sims.
That's what it was.
Right.
Grown-ass man's babysitting simulator.
So, yes, the Library of Congress discovers unreleased PSP Duke Nukem game.
Random.
So
Unreleased PSP Duke Nukem game.
So Duke Nukem's finally getting a release?
Like, somebody developed it, went to a very short stage in the development, got canceled, and then somebody had a copy of it somehow and
left it at the Library of Congress?
I don't know, how that works. You donate it, what do you do there? How's that become?
It's from the President's Book of Secrets.
How does something get put into the Library of Congress? Do you know? Anybody?
They have to.
Can you just drop it off? Say, here you go, put this in, or somebody? I mean, you got.
I know they have a broad library, but then it's also got to be stuff of like cultural significance to the United States, because it's sort of our legacy or whatever of fuck you to the rest of the world. We do have culture and shit.
Right.
Like there's all sorts of important shit in the Library of Congress, but then they've also got just references and all sorts of random other shit.
All right. Yeah,
it's like a regular library with cultural.
Well, it's just more about America on a cultural library or an anthropology kind of view or whatever of it.
So if shit ever goes down and they move it all to a salt mine, then Duke Nukem will be preserved.
Our legacy, yes.
Our legacy is going to be Duke Nukem. PSP. We'll all be fucking irradiated, but Duke Nukem will be in the salt
PSP.
mine.
Yeah. But on imagine, PSP. Because it was never released, so one person in the nuclear wasteland is going to find a copy of. It's like Nukem. Fallout. Like they should put that in Fallout. Like, oh, you found the unreleased PSP Duke Nukem. Now find a PSP. And then a PSP charger. You know what? Yeah. Oh no, that's ridiculous.
Oh man, what a weird ass system for it to be released on too.
That it was never released on.
Never be released on. PSP.
Duke Nukem tried to release so many times, but never could. Like after its initial success,
always seeking release, never finding it. The ultimate in blue balls.
Until the Library of Congress soaked it up. Sleeping Dogs.
We should let them lie.
Sleeping Dogs is going to Xbox One and PS4. Never played it, but it looked good. It got good reviews.
Don't remember what Sleeping Dogs is.
It's like the Asian GTA that came out before GTA.
I'd be down for that, especially if it was in like Singapore or something like that.
Yeah, I'm not sure where it was at.
The crap beaten out of you with canes.
There was a lot of like fucking kung fu shit going on and guns and.
Nice. Are doves flying and shit? Like it's a John Woo film?
Yeah, I mean it looks like it.
That would be fucking amazing.
It's like it's a bunch of tatted up Asian gangsters like fucking running the streets and shit. And it's just like an Asian action movie, you know what I mean? Like
that would be pretty goddamn awesome
and shit, or whatever, But yeah, it came out as one of the Xbox Live free games, like for gold, on the 360. So I have it on 360 already, but now they're releasing it for the next gen as like they're adding shit to it, obviously, and remastering it. But
next gen steakhouse.
I don't know. It's a good, it's a good game. It got really good reviews, but I'm not gonna buy it. Obviously, I already own it. Haven't played it yet. So some little Twitch news. You know, since they got bought out by Google.
Google overlords.
Justin TV, which is what started Twitch TV, is being shut down. They're just moving all of its resources into Twitch. Like, that's the bank. Because Justin TV was just like Twitch, but you could broadcast yourself about anything. It didn't have to be video games. The video game part of Justin TV became so big that they started Twitch TV, and that became bigger than Justin TV just on gaming, you know what I mean? Because Justin TV you actually had to pay for. Not, I think that was what part of what like made it. Fuck all that, you know what I mean? Like, why would I pay for it?
Fuck paying for that. Yeah, there's YouTube. There is YouTube.
You can live stream on YouTube, exactly. Yeah, I mean, I don't know why. Maybe they have a better interface or whatever, but so that's shut down. Twitch is going all in. But
you can do anything on it.
On Justin TV, yeah. Well, I mean, to an extent, I don't think you do porn. I mean, obviously, but it's more about like putting your personality out there, kind of like YouTube, pretty much. I mean, it's rated, you know, on that level of keeping shit legit. Maybe, I don't know. I've never used it.
I'm going to teach you the proper masturbation techniques while using this cucumber as a prop.
Hey, my name's Picasso.
Picasso.
I'll teach you how to paint with your dick. You prick.
Now, since they won't let us show real penises, I'll be having to use this strap-on.
John, you'll be interested to hear this. There is an XCOM board game.
Oh. So now I can get my funding slashed in front of my friends?
Yeah. It looked pretty cool, though. I mean, I saw a picture of the board and everything and pieces. I don't know.
But, I mean, how would that work, though? Because XCOM's like a solo experience. It's you versus the aliens.
Well, this is you versus each other now. You know what I mean?
But then that's just Risk.
But with XCOM...
pieces?
Mechanics. I guess, you know, with the 3 moves.
I'd have to try it out before I become a believer.
Keep a look out for it at Gen Con, maybe. Maybe there'll be a demo when you get there, and we can fucking demo the shit out of that.
Fuck yeah.
That'd be pretty sweet.
Slash his funding!
Something else you might be interested. Tropico 5 is coming out for 360, PS3, and PS4.
Oh, nice.
But not Xbox One.
Why? It would run best on Xbox One.
360, PS3, PS4, not Xbox One.
Why the hell?
Kind of shitty about that.
smell fuckery.
Tropico's fun as hell.
I'm shitty about
Tropico's the only game...
And PC, obviously.
Tropico's the only game where I can execute a political dissident and then round up all his protesting family members.
Yeah, I saw that today. I was like, man, they're skipping the Xbox One on this one. Fucking Sony throwing out their little fucking pocket change.
You fucking Sony fucking bastards.
Xbox like, well, we don't need Tropico, I guess. Maybe, I don't know.
Damn it, Xbox. Acquire Tropico. Tropico's awesome.
I mean, there is the 5th one, so hopefully there'll be a 6th one, and they'll...
Because Xbox One's getting Tropico 6 before anyone else!
Let's see. Man sues Sony over a game not being in 1080p.
Oh.
On PS4. Was
it advertised as 1080p?
I don't know, but he's suing them, but it'll probably get squashed, but it's
man dies in mysterious fire.
It's enough for it to be posted on the internet.
These Japs,
find out about
sneaky Japs, you never know what they'll do. Those Japs. Shit. Those Japs.
What is that? Alright.
Those dirty little Japs.
You got any gaming news?
No.
Other than that, I'm on to the next section of it.
Alright.
Someone crashed a drone into the Yellowstone hot springs.
Didn't we talk about somebody crashing
drones into
things? Needle in Seattle
Space Needle.
Last week,
Now they're crashing into the hot springs.
What are they?
Yellowstone hot springs.
This is the future. Just drones crashing into things.
Yeah. I want to know how many people have drones. I hear about it every week. Someone crashing a drone.
That
obviously means that there's drones flying around that aren't crashing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's a higher percent that aren't crashing than are. So what's
they're already watching you masturbate. There's no escaping people.
And you know what? When I get home from work tomorrow, I'm gonna open the blinds.
Let them watch.
They can see through the blinds though because they got infrared.
We got the heat.
Well,
like
they got the heat sensors.
Dude, we need to destroy these drones.
They're destroying
because
themselves.
They know things. They know things. America,
it's
they
know. It's not
know.
the only thing that knows
they
things.
know
Your
that
phone knows
thing
things.
that you and your girlfriend do.
Your Kinect knows things.
That you don't.
That's how the robot uprising succeeds. Is it just blackmails everyone?
The robot uprising.
They don't really need to invade or kick our asses. They just blackmail us all. It's like,
see, John's
if you don't do what I tell you to, human, then I'm going to show your mom your porn search
what'd you
history.
call me?
Human.
Oh.
I'm not ashamed of my porn search history. Yeah, it gets a little, ridiculous sometimes, but that's just when I'm ridiculously bored, you know?
Ridiculousness.
So,
Llama face plopping.
Well, that was a good run about the crashed drone.
Wow, fucking drones, man.
Alright, here's a quick survey stat. 5.3% of U.S. smartphone buyers plan to buy a Windows phone.
Oh, 5? Holy shit! 5.3?
Yeah.
You mean it's greater than,
taking care of business.
Greater than 5.
It's greater than 5!
Right.
That's amazing!
5% of the market.
5% of the marketplace. Windows, get the fuck out of mobile phones while you still can.
They're looking at probably 40% in Android, and then 55% for Apple.
Android's more popular than Apple now.
You think so?
I would think.
A higher seller?
I think Androids sell far more because they're cheaper
still
typically.
Banging it out because they just have that base market, that will continue to stick with their shit.
Rich white people love Apple.
Well, it's actually
Apple
it's older people.
Apple still holds that
don't
image.
Know.
Though.
iPhones are smartphones for people who probably shouldn't own smartphones.
Which is a majority of people.
Yeah. Well,
and you know what I mean?
I don't know. I see a lot of people. I see a lot of people with Androids. You should definitely not. have an Android.
I do see. Well, Android's the OS. You know what I mean? The phone itself is different. I guess you could potentially run an iOS on that phone right there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If it was allowed by the programmers.
Till Apple came down on you.
Yeah, but I'm saying it's physically possible, maybe not legally possible right at this moment, but you can, just like you can get Doom to run on the ATM, you could get iOS to run on an Android device. You can get Windows to run on a Mac. You can get Mac to run on Windows, or what I mean. It's just a matter of fixing it to do it. You know what I mean? Knowing what you're doing, I guess.
I think basically Windows is sort of the new BlackBerry.
BlackBerry sucked. If that's
they're still around.
Wow.
They're still selling.
I think Windows.
And you know
hope
what? Their 5% is probably more than BlackBerries.
I hope to God it's more than BlackBerries.
Yeah, dude.
Because if you own a BlackBerry,
I own a Windows phone.
Here's the thing, though. It's not a bad thing. It's just Windows is harder to use for the individual consumer. It's a little more complex, but it does offer some options. I could easily see it becoming the business person's choice of the phone.
Well, yeah, that's another thing. You got the Windows, Excel, PowerPoint, Word, all on your phone. Same format to your laptop or your PC or your tablet. And then
you're able to integrate
and that's
across.
What most people use in a business
is
the Windows format, the Excel, the spreadsheet, and I think it's a good move by Microsoft. You know what I mean? Making business oriented shit, because business is always going to take over pleasure or leisure.
Overtake that,
product wise. There's always more people working, probably, than not working at any given moment. You know what I mean?
5% though is shockingly shockingly
so
high.
High?
Yeah.
You thought they had less of a market?
Because let me put it this way: I've seen in my career working for an unnamed phone corporation, I have seen maybe 3 people buy Windows phones.
But the one you work for isn't a primary Windows phone marketer. You know what I mean? Like Nokia or not Nokia, but that's the brand. But
the other corporations, yes, they do.
You know,
very much.
T-Mobile pushes Windows phones a lot, or did for a minute there.
Yeah.
So, and yeah, so I mean, it's a small piece of the Windows. I mean, and if you're only selling that much to people that plan to buy a smartphone, the people that plan to buy a smartphone after that, you know, it'd probably be another 2 years before they buy another smartphone.
Yeah. So
you're looking at 2 years before you're selling more phones, and you're only selling 5% of the market, share.
A very viable.
No, not at all. And they just bought up Nokia or whatever, I think, didn't they?
Yeah.
Or its mobile division, and I think even the new Microsoft CEO said something about mobile being their direction, and mobile and cloud based is their primary direction right now. So I mean, they're stepping up right up to some major players.
Here's my thing,
and
though.
I'm hoping that they don't put too much into it to where Xbox starts to suffer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because, eventually that can happen. It's almost happening to Sony, because Sony products, everything but the PlayStation, has dropped in sales over the last 10 years or whatever.
Yeah.
And so they have a lot of products. They have PCs, they have TVs,
but isn't
they
Asia
have
going
speakers,
mobile?
they have headphones, they got Walkman. Sony owns Walkman. I mean, you got a lot of shit.
Well, LG and Samsung are both just devouring Sony's market shares in a lot of their core markets.
Mm-hmm.
South Korea is sort of becoming the substitute for Japan in Asia right now in terms of electronics.
Sales.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. They're very.
Here's my take, though, on Microsoft's whole conundrum. Is there was a time when Microsoft fucking ruled the world, right? That time was like the late 80s to fucking
95, man. That was
early
peak,
2000s, man.
95, 98.
95, 98 was the height of their empire.
Windows 95, they had the fucking Start It Up with the Rolling Stones on their track, whatever, buying big end music licenses.
What was Microsoft back then? It was big, it was ugly, it was clunky, it was the Trabant of the computer world. Trabant's a shitty East German car. But it was beautiful because it was your car, and or your computer, and you could do whatever the hell you wanted with it.
It was very user-friendly, but it was not very programmer-friendly.
Yeah.
And that was, when computers started becoming PCs, personal computers, and not just something to do work on. You know what I mean? It was something to actually have fun doing with, and put pictures on, type up shit, just
and
draw.
Here's what happened to Microsoft, though, and this is why they're going downhill. And did you hear Windows 8 is actually doing? They got a report or something where it's doing as poorly as Vista did. So their latest operating system, not necessarily for mobile devices, but for in terms of desktops and stuff.
Desktops, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so I mean, you go and buy a gaming PC from Digital Storm or something right now, and they're still pushing Windows 7 on them because it's just a less resource intensive OS, so there's more resources for gaming. Because gaming is very
resource
high end
intensive
right now. Or it always has been, really, I guess. Just gaming has always pushed technology to go further because it wants
Microsoft's
more
downfall is that they saw Apple making a shit ton of money with iPhones, iPods, and whatnot, and they wanted a share of that marketplace.
Yeah.
But that's not their marketplace. Their marketplace is in...
Right, Zune failed.
Yeah, Zune failed.
They kept it floating. They put a lot of money into it. They kept it floating for a while.
Their tablets might succeed. Their tablets look pretty goddamn
sweet, and they're doing
awesome.
very well. And that's mostly probably because of the price. They did undercut Apple by a couple hundred.
Yeah.
And they're more capable.
And they
than
have, they actually have USB ports and, can run a full version of Windows 8 and not just a mobile version.
Yeah.
To where you can snap a keyboard and mouse in and have full functionality as you did with a laptop or PC. They're kind of innovative with that, with the snap-on keyboard / cover. That was pretty cool, and it's real thin. And you actually get like a physical response. A lot of people, especially in business, need that physical response when they're doing fast typing. You know what I mean? Because in business, typing fast is a skill you have to have.
It's productivity. That's money when you're typing fast.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You can type fast. Great. You're hired because I can get more shit done in the same amount of time as paying this other guy. Get less shit done in the same amount of time. So yeah, when you have that physical keyboard there,
that's a definitive advantage.
Yeah, you're able to market to the business end now again with your tablets, because a lot of business people did get tablets because it was lightweight, convenient. You can take it wherever you want and start taking notes when you're doing jobs, whatever.
It's cheaper than a laptop. It has all the capability they need.
Yeah,
it's perfect.
Less power usage, and very lightweight and whatever. And it's bigger than your phone, so you're not like, what the fuck, pressing the wrong button. But yeah, once you add that physical keyboard, it makes it a lot better.
I don't know. I'm just worried about Microsoft's direction, and they're a company that I like, and I hope they.
I wish that the new CEO had said, "Our focus is fucking Xbox One," or what, like.
Our focus is Xbox One and getting an operating system out that doesn't fucking suck.
The cloud is the cloud is a good focus because it's part of Xbox One, but as far as mobile goes,
yeah.
You just came out with a next-gen console. You should be pretty focused on that. You know what I mean? Like
the future. And yet they've dropped so many features already. On Xbox One, there's so many things they promised, and they even demoed some of them, and they've just sort of dropped those features. And it's, they blame it on a lot on the cloud-based computing, but a lot of that stuff seems like stuff that the system should just be able to inherently do.
Yeah,
but they haven't.
Yeah, like the they said it was all the Xbox Ones would be able to be developer kits.
Yeah.
And now they're like, well, never mind. Because it's too much of a pain in the ass to do it. You know what I mean? And it's funny because there's still an option to in the settings on your Xbox One to turn it into developer mode, but it like locks your Xbox up to where you can't use it. You can't use it. You can't unlock it. It just locks it. And it's people have to send it in and get it fixed just because they turn it in developer mode, and it's like.
And
there's warnings all over the websites, but like some people don't see it, and it's like, what the fuck are you?
It's something that if they put their programmers on it, they could patch.
Exactly, and they haven't yet, and it's like, well, hopefully I don't, come home and my shit accidentally got locked because Surge is messing around with the settings or what, you know what I mean?
Yeah. All right, what else we got?
Oh no, that's the end of my list.
All right, I've got some geopolitical type stuff. So Pat. You ready? Because this is your area, I know.
Sure. I'm here today.
All right.
Falling out?
Yeah.
Taking a nap.
Woo! late nights, early mornings this week.
One of Putin's top advisors states that the Mr. Putin wants Finland and even some of the Baltic states.
What is your source on this? Because this seems pretty fucking wild here. And because that's what I was wondering before the show when we were, Chad, what are you looking for there?
I think it's in the room.
I think it's in the, do you have any more soda pop?
I don't think so.
Anyways,
grabbing the source.
I'm trying to find it.
Source code. Keep it moving.
Yeah, keep it moving.
Anyways, Mr. Stahl.
No, I just was genuinely curious because
I'm sure it's like Reuters or something like that. Anyways, one of his top advisors said that. Now the guy's been fired since then, is what's been said. But still, that's some disturbing shit. It shows you that he's on track record for that. And in fact, Putin's been quoted before as saying that the people who gave Finland its independence in 1917 are traitors. So fucking Russia's on the move again. And what else we got?
I'm gonna kick your ass, bitch.
Bitch.
Russia. That was for Russia, right?
North Korea's got a new submarine.
Fuck.
It's a 50s era Romeo-class Soviet submarine.
Oh.
Yeah.
Romeo?
Romeo-class submarine.
Romeo, come to school.
It looks like a
me,
fucking
ho.
lime green U-boat.
Great. So
Yeah.
what are they gonna do with that?
Lose it one day.
Yeah.
That's what's gonna happen. It's gonna
Lose
fucking
it.
sink.
Sweet.
I can tell that we are gonna be friends.
Bird crapped on Putin during
Yeah,
his speech at
that's-
a World War I
hilarious.
memorial.
Finally.
Wow.
I am an
Is
asshole.
that the first time that's happened? Did Hitler ever get shat on by a bird at a speech?
Hey,
I don't know. That's not in the history books.
Yeah.
It should be though.
Yeah, it should
Somebody should Photoshop a video of it and put it in there and say this is official.
be. Yeah.
Yeah. This is from official 1936
Lost
Hitler
footage.
speech.
New footage.
Just
Hitler
get
also
shit
got
on by,
shat on.
by 7 birds at once.
Reincarnated Hitler.
I am Vladimir Putin, and I am pooping. Yeah.
Do you ever think we'll do that? Like
What, poop
since
on Hitler?
No, yeah, well, yeah. We'll have the DNA. I mean, we've got his DNA.
Wait, Jurassic
could clone
Parking
him.
all the
Yeah,
fucking
we could-
dictators
Jurassic Park, all the fucking dictators that we
of
hate.
throughout history?
But what if he turned out to be a really nice guy because he was raised in like a lab, like
Who?
Hitler?
Well, he could, but people would still pay $5 to kick him in the balls.
Give him fucking.
Just just keep them in a...
No, that no.
It doesn't matter if
'Cause
it's
you wanna be
evil
the
or not. You just
dictator.
want to see them, like in Jurassic Park, in an electric cage, like fenced off from the rest of the world in a jungle. It's just Hitler.
My God, it's magnificent.
It's fucking Hitler. Like they groom him, to keep his shit,
Fucking goat.
Put a fucking goat out there, Hitler's out there rampaging on a goat, fucking it while eating the front of it,
Yeah, that shit's hilarious.
But I mean,
Yo.
think about it. Is in the future at some point we're probably gonna have the technology to where your fucking
In the
descendants,
Futurama?
yeah, where your fucking descendants can just flash
Sounds like
clone
Futurama. Yeah. Put your head on the
you in a fucking jar
robot.
or robot.
Yeah. What was that, Reagan or who was that?
Nixon.
Nixon, yeah. On Futurama. Shit was funny.
Nixon to Dixon.
What
The
else?
Nixon line.
Russia's having a tank biathlon right now. That's
What does
where,
that mean?
That's where they get a bunch of tanks together and do basically tank sports, I guess. Racing and
So it's got to
acrobatics.
be two.
and-
Yeah, it's going to be two different sports with tanks.
Yeah.
Since it's a biathlon.
Let's
At least
race our
Wow.
tanks.
I know a triathlon's when you're out in the snow walking forever and then you shoot something and then you wish you were dead. That was like the third part of the triathlon. And then you go back to walking
regret being in a
through the
triathlon.
snow.
It's the 4th stage of a triathlon.
We got the party.
Quadathlon.
I wish people in triathlons would fight. Because they're walking through the snow with the tennis rackets on and shit. Fucking boom, get on my way, bitch. And then they start, what? Just getting into it, and you're like, yes.
Deadliest triathlon.
Now I'm
will
watching
return.
a triathlon for a reason instead of just watching guys walk through the snow for an hour and a half.
Now they have Ninja Warrior. They could call it Viking Warrior because they're in the fucking snow, and that's traditionally a Nordic thing.
Right?
Vikings had snow, I imagine.
Yeah, the Northmen. The Norsemen.
See, if I owned a television network, this would already be a thing.
what, Viking show?
American Viking Warrior.
Oh,
filming up in Alaska.
Right.
Your challenge today is to not fucking die.
Right. You know, to fucking handle this wave of enemies with your shield and fucking axe or whatever and leather armor.
While not falling off a pole or something like that, because you gotta make it challenging. It's like punjies, but with
don't die.
Swords.
You
Don't die.
You will die tonight if you let it happen. These guys are not gonna stop till you're dead.
Endless waves.
Lewis Waves, aka.
I got one of our spy planes violated Swedish airspace.
It's all right.
Swedes are neutral and they're all pissed about it. But we were trying to get away from the Russians.
Reparation. It was, hey, give us some money.
Yeah.
Put a fucking McDonald's
grease it a little
in here
bit.
Or something. Yeah. Give us a few free McDonald's in some fucking town. Give us some free McDonald's in this town. Probably couldn't hear me.
Give us a lifetime supply of McDonald's, and you can continue to violate the airspace.
Right. Swedish meatballs will probably be at McDonald's.
Swedish meatballs. Set of
Swedish
fries.
Meatball burger. It's a burger with Swedish meatball gravy on it.
And my last headline I have is the Ebola victims that everybody is freaking their shit about.
Did not have it.
Well, no, did they not have it?
No, they
one guy in New York got tested and didn't have it.
No, the ones that they brought in from Africa who did have it.
Okay.
The doctors that
were
were sent over there and then they got it.
Oh, but they had a little scare in New York. I didn't hear about that.
Yeah, but he guessed he didn't have it.
Wow. I've got all the symptoms.
He probably just ate some bad fucking burritos or something in New York. I mean, it's easy to get bad food in New York. I went to a deli one time. It was open at like 3 in the morning. There's delis open all hours of the night, and they sell pipes. They sell you like fucking weed pipes and shit at the deli.
At the deli in New York.
But I was like looking at the food, and this dude's just like behind the rack, just like digging in his nose, just not even giving a fuck. Like, I don't know if he just wanted me to leave, you know what I mean, or what. I was like, all right, I'm out of here, you know.
Yeah.
It's like I was looking right at him, just like staring right at me. He's just like fucking banging his nose out.
Did he stare back at you?
Yeah.
Did you lock eyes at any time?
I'm waiting for him to finish up. I'm waiting for him to finish digging his fucking shit right in front of me. And I'm drunk. I'm like, it's like 3 in the morning, drinking and shit. I'm like, well, I'm out of here. Whatever.
I'm drunk, but I'm not drunk enough
to eat your fucking
booger food, you fucking asshole.
12-hour fucking tuna salad or whatever the fuck you got out here.
That's gross.
Like, I'll just go buy a blunt from this guy over here instead, and whatever.
Go down to the fucking McDonald's.
Go back to the hotel.
But yeah, they have an experimental new drug that they tried out, and apparently it's working
on one person.
Yeah. Well, they only had one dosage.
It's funny that they have an experimental new drug right when a bunch of people get it.
Yeah.
I wonder if that has anything to do with it. If maybe they got people sick so they could test the new drug on the.
I honestly
and make some money.
Like
now there's a scare, and now this company's like, oh, well, you need all this medicine because it works, and there's a scare, and now you see where that's going.
Well, I feel like that's the reason they brought them back to the U.S. is so they'd have a chance to try the drug out. Because it's pretty dramatic, it catches headlines.
Exactly. Why else would you bring them back?
Yeah.
I mean, that's how it got spread in the first place. Were you trying to fuck shit up?
Well, I don't think it's going to get out or anything, but I think
you don't expect it to, but you didn't expect it to even pop up in the first place,
because those doctors contracted it and they were in full medical fucking gear and
full body condom.
Yeah, so
no, they weren't in full body condom or anything like that.
Fuck yeah, they were.
No.
Yeah, you can't go into contact with anyone if you're not.
They were all on a plane together, I thought.
No. They were dealing with sick patients and whatnot, and it was not a well-prepared hospital.
Yeah,
this is like remote-ass Africa.
I've seen the hospital. There's a water bucket you have to step in when you go in and everything.
Oh, so they got a water bucket.
It's a giant.
It's a sophisticated facility here.
Wasn't
what does
sophisticated,
washing your feet do?
Wow. Not really anything.
Anyway,
wow.
The facility sucked, but the gear they had didn't.
Anyways,
I feel like this is gonna kill like 1 billion people or 2.
Yeah.
That's just my opinion. I just think it will.
I think that in a modern society, it's not
that. Like that. I think this shit's about
30%, 35% of the world population.
I mean, the CDC just marked it a number 1 emergency or the highest level.
They've never done that. Did they do that for SARS?
They did that.
They did that for the bird flu, for SARS. Basically, every time everyone thinks a
AIDS
disease,
is probably more prominent than any of those.
AIDS might actually kill us all.
That's what I'm saying. It's probably more diagnosed people with AIDS than.
But AIDS isn't as scary. Anytime something scares everybody,
all this shit's airborne.
They always go, oh.
When it's airborne, that's when they're like, oh my god, we're all gonna die. It's airborne. Like, we can't breathe next to you. And then, well,
you're done.
That's it. Good night.
But here's the thing, though: is I don't really think Ebola is as big of a threat as everybody thinks it is.
I'll punch Ebola right in the nuts. I don't give a fuck.
Kick Ebola's ass.
About Ebola. It's the only thing I haven't beat the shit out of yet.
Ebola.
No, it's a Mike Tyson cartoon line. I don't know if you remember that from last week.
Was it?
He said,
I'll kick Ebola's ass?
No, it was Chupacabra, though.
Oh, I haven't beat the shit out.
He said, that's the only thing I haven't beat the shit out of yet. But he said it wrong. Like Chumacabra or something.
Chumacabra. Hey everybody, it's Joe Rogan, and tonight I'm gonna kick fucking AIDS ass. I'm gonna go out and get AIDS and beat it.
Hey man, get your AIDS quilt off me. You ever seen an AIDS quilt?
An AIDS quilt?
Yeah. I remember when I lived in Florida, we took a field trip to some museum or some shit, art museum, and there was a big ass quilt hanging up. It was called the AIDS quilt. It was on tour.
Don't touch the AIDS quilt.
It was just like a patch put into this quilt for a person that's died or something, I guess. I don't know. With something on it,
So it's a quilt of sadness?
Yeah.
So instead of making you warm,
it was fucking big, dude. Like, I mean, it was hanging up on a fucking wall all across the fucking wall.
Because AIDS is fucking...
Thanks.
Scary.
I'm like fucking 8 years old though. You're like, what the fuck kind of show is this?
Right.
Like,
for an 8-year-old.
I thought we were going to fucking Universal Studios or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm always surprised when I think back in my memories and remember field trips, and I'm just like, what the fuck were they doing taking kids to see this? I don't need to see the Diary of Anne Frank at 8.
Right.
Yeah, that shit wasn't needed. Thanks, school.
Thanks, school. Thanks for teaching me about the Holocaust before, I can understand that any sort of concepts or anything.
Barely even seen like a violent fiction movie.
Wow.
Or, now you're talking about like real shit. Like.
And then they all died horrible, horrible deaths where their skulls were removed.
And they searched for them high and low. There was nowhere to hide. And if you were hiding, whoever's hiding you would die too.
Well.
Like, what? Alright, cool.
Cool. I'm going to go home and watch the Power Rangers now.
Never hide again. Never hide.
Never hide.
Might get baked.
I want to be not baked in a German oven.
I thought you were going to go.
Oh, you want me to go? Go, go, go. Wait, is that what I'm doing? Where's my song? Pick one. German oven. Russian. Vladimir Putin with a poop on his neck. Vladimir Putin with poop on his neck. Taking over Finland. Baby girl, you know it's time.
He woke up.
He did.
He woke up.
You're here now.
Oh, I'm half brain dead all the time, so I pop it out of it.
Woke up there for a minute.
Yep.
Well, what else you got?
That's it.
Yeah.
That is
We're looking
Expendables.
at 55 minutes right now.
Oh, we got some time to kill, boys.
I mean, an hour.
Let's talk about some topics.
Oh yeah, that's where we're at now, right?
Well,
We've hit all the headlines, so we go on to topic mode. Let me transition us to topic mode. Topic mode. Wake up.
Bedtime is soon, so my topic is Serta mattress.
Sertas.
In my room.
You know what's fucking weird? Sleep.
The fact that I'm still awake
Sleep.
when I
Sleep is fucking weird.
Uh-huh.
It's a period of time
It's the cousin of death.
where your brain's shutting down.
It's the cousin of death.
It leaves only...
It's a relative of death.
Ah.
It's weird.
Here's the thing.
I want to go home and die periodically.
God damn.
Just partially die, not fully die.
I'm just gonna shut down for a while.
But why does your brain shut off everything but its, like,
To
creative
rest.
center, you know? Where you have dreams and whatnot.
Because we're going to the other side, John.
Are your dreams...
Is that the other side?
there's
Is
lots
this a
of
shitty
dream
mishmash
theories.
of...
No, we're connecting with the gods.
Lots of dream theories, but the most logical thing that I've heard is that it's just your brain sorting your memories and they get
That's what
blended
they
together.
want you to
And,
fucking believe, bro.
well, yeah, I mean, some people say, oh, you
buy
see
that
visions.
government
I've never seen
jargon.
something in my dream that's come true. You know what I mean? I've seen things in my head in real life when I'm awake that have come true. When I'm like holding on to this fucking crystal with this phone psychic chick, like when I was a kid, like where's this fucking bitch at that we can't find? And we're like, oh fuck, like that, that's been more real to me than any of my dreams, and I don't know what the fuck that's about.
See, my dreams, my pants are disappearing gradually, and I've got to find pants.
I've never had a pantsless dream.
No, I'm not pantsless yet. They're just sort of, it's like those kids in Back to the Future where they're slowly fading.
Oh, you're dreaming about being naked. You always see that. I've never had that dream.
I'm never full on naked, though. They're fading. So I've got to, I'm constantly jack-barrowing my way into fucking Sears or whatever, or Walmart, and just like, alright, I need fucking pants now! There's always something crazy going on in the background, like the place is being robbed, there's a tornado bearing down on it, there's like fucking riots or something, but my primary goal is to get a new pair of pants before mine just fade into nothing.
I always have dreams of being chased or falling. Not always, but when I remember a lot of them, there's released throughout the past or whatever.
I don't like
falling
to talk
would
about
suck.
my dreams.
Falling would
it's
suck.
usually when I am running. It's sometimes I'll have the same dream where I'm running from something and then I'll jump over a fence, but I go 100 feet in the air. You know what I mean? I'm like,
oh god,
this is so cool, and then you're falling, and you're like, oh fuck, am I gonna break my legs or what? You know what I mean? But then you just land and you're like, oh okay, it's cool, whatever. And then
I got away from that guy.
Every time it happens, you're like, oh shit, am I gonna die this time or whatever? Or one time I had a dream where the fucking ground was waves. You know what I mean? It was just wavy and it was bouncing me up, or whatever. And so what the fuck? Weird shit.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Roller coasters, maybe.
Now, I used to have dreams, before I started driving, I used to have dreams about driving, where, I'd be driving a car, somebody would always egg me into driving a car before I have a license, and then, the brake wouldn't work. Yeah. Or it would work, but it was super shitty. It, took forever to stop. And those were always terrible dreams.
I got pulled over in real life without a license when I was driving with a permit. And when you have a permit, you have to have an adult with you with a license.
Yeah.
And I had my friend with me that was the same age, you know what I mean? Because I had just taken my grandma's car after she had fallen asleep. We were heading up to this party. And I got pulled over. And the cop's I give him my ID or whatever, my permit, and he's he recognizes my address, and he's or my name or something, I don't know. He's is your grandma Myrna or something? I'm yeah. And I'm what the fuck? And
I remember her fondly.
Right. I was like, yeah, sure, whatever, dude. And he's like, he he took the license, came back, and obviously it was gonna go down. He wasn't gonna let me drive away. But he's like, well, we're gonna search you. He got another cop car there and searched us, and we had like a bag of weed or whatever. But then it was like during the winter time, and they popped the trunk, and my grandma had all this rock salt in like huge Ziploc bags in the trunk. And then like as soon as they opened it up, they're like, what do we got here? Like they hit the jackpots. There's so many of them. Like they just look like crack rocks or something.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, what do we got, boys? I'm like, hold up. I was like, hold up, that's rock salt, buddy. This ain't going down like that.
Yeah.
Fuck.
So that's how you smuggle it now, is you just mix it in with
Label
rock
it
salt.
as rock salt.
Yep.
So there's labels on it.
Because I've driven around with
she
rock
bought
salt
them
in my
all from
trunk.
Marsh. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Grandma buys it all up and whatever. And it's like no. And so then he just like my buddy was with me, and we had weed and shit. And he's like, where do you live? He's like, I live with him. And he told the cops that he lives with me. And then so he's like, all right, well, I'm gonna follow you guys. Or no, he called my grandma and or something. I don't know. No, he didn't call her. But he's like, I'm gonna follow you home. And he drove us, and followed me back to my house because it's like real close. And he's like, told my grandma, he's like, we found this weed on, but they didn't like arrest us or anything. He's like, but he was like, does this guy live with you guys? And she's like, yeah. She's like, yeah.
Oh, pro grandma, good job, grandma. Good. So that's just did she miss a beat or anything, or was it just seamless?
No, yeah, she's just like, yeah.
She knew.
He was here with us, because he had already, I don't know.
God,
my grandma was like that, so sometimes it's just like, yeah, that's what's going on.
Whatever keeps the most people
She
out
was
of
probably
jail.
like half asleep, yeah, like middle of the night. She was asleep because I took in her car because she was asleep. Like went to the purse and grabbed the keys. And my friends were like, "We got a party going on." It's like it's like I don't know, like 5 miles maybe, not even that. It's like 86 in Spring Mill from 73rd and Ditch. Didn't even make it.
Nope.
Up Spring Mill. We were going up Spring Mill. Nope. I saw the cop too, and I was like, I'm going to go ahead and just go the speed limit. And he's like, you know why I pulled you over? You're going pretty slow. I was like, what? I'm going the speed limit, asshole.
No, if
like,
you
what
see
the
a
fuck?
cop, you always go like at least 5 above.
Right.
Because if you drive exactly the speed limit, now you're more suspicious.
That was the first time I really had been driving by myself. You know what I mean? I was 15 with my permit.
Yeah. So now you're nervous Nelly doing everything
right
by the book.
I knew there was a cop behind me, and it said patrolled area. Like as I entered that area on Spring Mill, it says Meridian Hills patrolled area kind of thing. Whoop! Wrong one.
I'm gonna kick your ass.
Nice. Doken.
I'm gonna kick your ass, bitch.
You know what happened is he was like, this is too much paperwork.
Right.
I don't want to fill out this paperwork.
Minor without a license with a gram of weed.
With a gram.
He's like, fuck it.
Well,
If he had bothered to start, like, with the salt in the back, that might have gone somewhere. Like, even if they discovered later it was salt, they would have been shitty and still gone through with all the other stuff. But
Yeah.
What?
Alright.
I mean, it's rock
I think it's
salt?
about time to wrap up, huh?
yeah.
Oh.
You fallen into the pit, now you climbed out of it. I'm at BigBS, anywhere on the internet.
PKD, don't come and find me.
At Bold Gambit, leave questions, comments, concerns, all that jive.
Follow, like, subscribe, share, comment, and thanks.
Yep.